Stay down over there, don't come back up here.
Are you thinking about insurance? At Aquin Financial Services, we do auto, life, home, health, and business. Again, we do auto, life, home, health, and business. At Aquin Financial Services, we protect your most valuable assets.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to say thank you guys for taking the time and to turn in this morning once again. And remember, every Wednesday, it's our duty and our devotion to make sure that we can come on board to give you an extra bit of what we know, so we can help you save money. Again, remember, on Wednesday is the day that we turn in to talk about finance, which I know most of you guys hate to talk about or see. Um, so technically, remember, like I always say, at Aquin Financial Services, all we talk about is finance. So today we have a special guest, but before we get into that, we're gonna talk about insurance, or 10 common frequent insurance questions, which should be already on the title. So that's what we're gonna talk about today. So based on the feedback that I've gotten from you guys, and those are the questions that's been asking, and so I have bring a guest with me today that's gonna help us um, dive into these questions and make sure that some of you guys can get an understanding of what's going on. So before I introduce the guest, I'd like to say thank you guys as well for taking the time and the opportunity to ask us this question, to put your trust in us, to give us that faith and to deliver. So that's what we're gonna do today. Also, and for those of you guys who've been calling and asking, getting quotes, I also appreciate you guys for calling. And one more services that we offer, I don't think we ever mentioned that here on the live, which is we do fingerprint. Fingerprint is for those of you who wants to get fingerprint for a job that you may want, or for licensing that you're trying to apply for. Let's say for if you want to become a real estate agent, or if you want to become a mortgage broker, if you're applying for a life and health insurance license, you're gonna want to get fingerprint. Or if you want to try to do a level 2 background, we do that as well. So please do not hesitate to call us at the number listed below. It's 561-290-4661. Please give us that call and we schedule the appointment. You can come in within 15 minutes or less. We get you out and you go at your merry way. So, without any further ado, we're gonna present Mr. Mina, which is here with us today. Would you like to tell him your name?
My name is Jamina, baby. Good morning, friends. How are you today?
Well, I am doing well. Thank you for coming in, and I know you the one who always has the questions, and so today, I'm glad you can come here and help us dive into these questions and help these people get a point of what's going on.
Pleasure to be here.
All right.
Friends, as you already know, the customers have a lot of questions. So this morning, I have a few questions for you. My first question is going to be, do I need more than the state minimum coverage?
Okay. So, generally speaking, when people are wanting to get insurance, they always come in and ask for the cheapest coverage, right? So, due to the fact that they want something that is cheap, so the cheapest always be the bare minimum, which is the bare minimum would be what the state required. So I don't like to encourage people to just get the bare minimum, because I had given illustrations about how people what's the benefit of having the state requirement. Benefit of having the state requirement is basically you can drive your car on the highway on your local city ordinance where you have no issues. But the problem is having the bare minimum.
Okay.
Is that, let's say you drive a Lamborghini or a Maserati, and my bare minimum is $10,000 worth of coverage. Now you hit my car, and the damage that caused my car is, let's say, $20,000, but the bare minimum covered you for $10,000. What happened at that point? Although you have insurance, we call that you underinsured, so you don't have enough coverage. So if you're thinking just getting the minimum when it comes to the state, it's good, but at the end, the bad part is you don't have enough coverage, especially if you can't afford it. So what happened is the insurance company will pay the $10,000, but the difference is you're gonna have to cough that up out of your pocket. That's the bad part.
Wow. All right, friends. And my second question, so how does full coverage work?
See, now that's a good question. So you see, you come from the state minimum. Now you're asking for full coverage. Full coverage is gonna probably be like something more of you have collision that added to the basic or to the basic. So when you have comp and collision, you will also add what we call towing. You could also add what we call rental insurance. So that will generally create what we call the full coverage, and also have your deductible become very, very minimum. So you could have as little as zero deductible, and that could be very crucial. And I like to tell people, it's good to have a zero deductible and be mindful of some type of coverage you're taking as well, because you may have full coverage, but you don't really need full coverage.
Okay.
Okay, so yes, full coverage is good. No, it's not that great either. So it depends on your needs at that point. If you have a car, let's say the car is basically a $500 worth of car, and you want to get full coverage in that car, and the full coverage that you want is $50,000 worth of property damage, for instance. My question as an agent usually would be, why would somebody want to put a $50,000 worth of coverage on a car that's worth $500? Okay. So sometimes it depends. I mean, if it's not worth it, if it's throwing your money in the car, if the car worth 500, they're not gonna give you more than 500. They will give you what the car is worth. Okay? So that's what I would say. Yes, full coverage has its benefit, and it doesn't have it.
All right. So remember, these are the questions the customer usually asks. So my third question for you, friends, what is the difference between comp and collision coverage?
Yeah, see, I just touched that earlier. Okay. Yes, again, that's for you guys. That's your question. It has nothing to do with us. That's a question that you guys wanting to know. And once we give this answers from this point on, after this, third question. We're gonna go to a quick break after that. Okay. So the question is, what's the difference between company collision? Company collision is basically physical damage that covers you, your car. Okay, that's the first one. I like to take my little note. Collisions, comprehensive collision, right? You have company collision. So also you have the comprehensive part. It covers what? It covers your damage that includes fire, due to the vehicle, and let's say your windshield is broken, somebody like break into your cars, or you get a tree fall over your cars. These type of damages, they will cover those. So yes, be mindful of what type of coverage you have. Some people say that, okay, well, what if my transmission goes out? Is my insurance cover that? It depends. It depends. If my tire blown, does my insurance cover that? That always depends. Now, some certain questions, some parts of coverage may not be covered. Now, there's extra insurance you can add. Let's say for we have extended warranties, especially when it comes to internal parts of the car. But I haven't seen insurance for your tires. Now, I don't know. I'm sure it probably exists, but I don't think you'll be willing to pay for it. A tire could cost you about $100 or $150. Why would I want to pay $70 for an insurance for something that's not okay? So that's not guaranteed to happen. But whereby a tire, you can have about 30,000 or 40,000 miles worth on that tire. See, the more deeper you get into it, the more you will find that some type of rate of coverage is not even that necessary. But if you want to get extended warranty for your motor, for your transmission, so these cost money to replace on a car. So yes. Alright, so beside that, again, remember we're going to take a break after this third question. So that was the third question. So we'll take a quick break if you are ready for us.
Need life insurance? Then contact our professional and friendly team to learn more about our range of custom and tailored services designed to suit your exact needs. Every one of our professionals have acquired years of experience, which ensures you get the very best. Our experienced staff are waiting to hear from you and to answer any specific questions that you may have on how we can meet your needs. Just ask for a consultation and let us prove our commitment to you, as we promise to maintain the highest level of quality and commitment. Your satisfaction is our prime concern. So please don't hesitate to get in contact with us and let us show you all the great options we have.
Thank you guys for having us back, and we are now back. And remember, the segment today is about a common question, or frequent common question that customers ask about insurance. Always remember, I'll tell everyone, know what you need. If you don't know what you need, it's always good to ask questions. Don't assume. If you don't know, just ask. How hard could it be? So yes, always don't think you know. Even if you may know, it's always ask the extra question for us to get on point. And also, guys, remember, you can always go online. You can email us and call us to ask your questions so you can get answers to them. And of course, for those of you guys who've been watching for quite some time, please like our page, subscribe to our channel, and just to make sure we can bring more of these videos for you, so we can get more of you guys to get that information across the board. Thank you for watching again. So the next question is what now? I know you have a lot of questions, so I'm just going to cross my arm.
Oh yes, friends, I do have another questions for you. My fourth question would be, does my auto insurance cover hit and run accident?
Oh, hit and run.
Yes.
That's a good one. Hit and run. What, you thinking about hitting somebody and run?
Oh, no, no, no. Yeah, remember, these are the questions the customers usually ask. So please, if you could give us an answer.
All right. Does my insurance cover hit and run? Guys, I've had quite people call once they get into an accident and they start calling people and just when they're trying to get insurance. And I actually had that happen to me and a friend of mine that does insurance. Can you imagine you get into an accident, that's when you're calling the agent or an insurance company trying to get coverage? Now, the only way for us to find out is by asking the questions. When was the last time you had insurance on your car? And you have to tell us because we have to put that into the system. And think of it this way. You can't just get into an accident and that's when you're asking to have if you can get insurance. It's not gonna work. They would not cover that insurance. And don't try it, because if you can't have somebody add you into the insurance coverage if you can't afford to pay it, don't drive cars without insurance. And think of it this way. Say that you have insurance and you're driving on the road, and I'm driving on the road. I don't have insurance and I ran into your car. I cause you to lose your vehicle. What happened at that point? I can't fix your car. And if I can't fix your car, it becomes an inconvenient for you and your family, and it becomes an inconvenient for me. Due to my own negligence, now you are unable to go to your daily activities. So I always say to everyone, if you can't afford to buy insurance at this moment, have a friend drive you to work. Don't take the risk, because the consequences for it is much greater, because you can lose your driver license, and you can also they can also slap you with an F444, and your license can be taken away from you, and that's a privilege that we all have. And if once that privilege is taken away, it takes a lot more to get it back. So if you don't have insurance, you hit someone cars, do not run. It's best to stay at the scene and let and you trying to see if you can work it out with the owner. Hopefully it's not a big damage, but running always the worst thing that you can do, and now the law enforcement would have to look for you. See, that answer was so long, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Thank you for your answer.
Right.
And France, I just can't stop. I still have more questions for you. Okay.
I hope I can answer them.
All right. Tell me, does my car insurance cover me when I rent a car?
Another great question. Yes, we get all these questions all the time. Now, yes and no. Okay, yes and no. Now, if you have PIP, it wouldn't cover it, and because the most part you want to cover is the company collision part. In case you get into an accident, you want to make sure that they can restore that vehicle back into its original condition. Now, the good part is you don't have to pay for it if you're getting the rental, since you already have it in your car if you have it. Now, if you don't have it, and those rental company will of course offer the coverage and you can pay for it, although it's a little more expensive to get it, but at least it's best to have it, not to have it. Okay. And of course, I will also encourage people, even if you have your own insurance, don't take it with your own insurance. Just buy it with these people. The coverage is much better, because if you get into an accident, let them deal with it themselves, so you don't have to deal with that nonsense. Okay? So the best bet, just buy it with that rental company. You go from there. But if you can't afford it, if you're tight on the cash, you have full coverage in your auto vehicle, it's fine. Just give them the name of your insurance company. Take it from there. You move on.
All right, friends. This is gonna be my favorite question. It's regarding claim. Tell me, when do I file an auto insurance claim? Please.
See, you guys, this one is one of my top questions. I don't know why. It's always one. All right, claim. It's very. I would say to people again, if you can't avoid having it in your record, it's good to avoid it. So filing a claim, before you file a claim, what I tell people, if you get into an accident, based on everything that I said, make sure you call 911. Okay? Make sure you call 911. Why would you want to call 911? The first reason why you want to call 911, to make sure that you have a paramedic comes, make sure they check you out, just to make sure if you are stable, you don't need any emergency treatment, they won't take you. You won't have to go in. They can't force you to go. But if it's bad, they will take you, whether you don't like it or not. That's the bad part. That's the part when it comes to calling 911. The second part is you will have a law enforcement that will take your information and take the other driver's information and generate what we call an accident report. They will create a report in which will be available within 48 to 72 hours that you may be able to retrieve it. Once you have that information, you can of course call your insurance company and say, hey, this is so and so, I've got into an accident and I wanted to report this is what happened. The company will also ask you for the police report so they can review it to see who's involved, who is not involved, and how the accident happened. Also, I always say this: do not admit guilt that you was at fault. Let the authorities or the investigators be the judge of that. Okay? So sometimes that person could have been on the phone. Hey, due to the lack of, they didn't follow the proper rules and they caused the accident, and you thought it was you. So instead of you admitting to it, let the people realize who caused the damage instead of you admitting guilt towards something that you have no fault at. And also, one thing to keep in mind, I know that answers is very long, but insurance claim, it stays in your record. So you want to make sure if you can work it out with that individual, if it's not a big damage, if it's just a little bump, if that bump was $500, you can let's say you can fix it. It's not gonna hurt your pocket. Hey, fix it and move on, guys. I'm just being blunt with you guys. I'm telling you exactly how it is, and it's for your own benefit. If you can pay for it and move on. Because what happened is, if you are not at fault in Florida, what happened is it stays in your record for 3 years, and it's gonna hurt you through your insurance premium. Okay, that's one. Now, if you was at fault, it's gonna stay on your record for 5 years. See the difference? If it's your fault, it's in your record for 5 years. If it's not your fault, it's in your records for 3 years. So, what I need you to be aware of is the consequences, is what it's gonna cost you on the long run. If you can pay for it, if you can walk it out with that other person, walk it out. I don't know if it's her, but walk it out. So walk it out with them so you can avoid an increase in your insurance premium. Walk it out with them so you can be a cleaner client to those people, in these people's eyes. And the next part you need to take in mind of, when you have claim in your insurance premium, what happens is when there's a claim, it stays there for 2 to 3 years, right? But the more claim that you have, the less insurance company will want to deal with you. You hear that? The more claim you have, the less insurance company. After 2 claims, some will kick you out. After 3 claims, it's barely hard to find an insurance company. So I guess that's pretty much going to be it. I think I feel like I talked too much today.
No, these are great information. I don't want to keep you too long, friends. So I think I might have a last question for you for today. And I'm sure the customer is going to bring more questions. But remember, that might be my last one. Can I cancel my auto policy anytime?
Yeah, okay, this is the last question. I'm not taking any more questions. You see what
okay, no problem. Just this one, please.
After the claim that she wants to cancel her policy. You see, that's the bad part.
I just want to know.
So, guys, yes, you can cancel your insurance premium at any given moment. At any given moment, you can cancel it. But remember, before you cancel your insurance premium, what I say to everyone, do your research, check around just to make sure you can get an additional policy or get another policy before you cancel it. You can, don't just cancel it and that's when you're trying to find an insurance company. Sometimes it doesn't work. Let's say you were paying $150, you cancel it, now you're trying to get another policy, and now the one you're trying to get is more than what you were paying. I would rather stay where I am now instead of wanting to pay more than what I'm paying now. So yes, you can cancel at any given moment. It's no obligation. Also remember, if your payment is on the first of the month, you cancel on the 15th. If you are paying $150, they will prorate. They will prorate your premium so you don't get the full charge for the month. All right. So I guess that's all we have for today.
Yes, friends. Thank you for all this great information, and I'm sure on the customer, I learned a lot today. To be honest, I learned a lot. So I guess I'll see you next time.
Well, guys, thank you. I'd like to thank Jermina for coming in today. I've been here all that long by myself, and I finally find somebody that can come around and help me with these questions. So please, guys, help me on share these videos and get the information across the board so people can get the value of what we're sharing. So I appreciate you guys for watching the video. I appreciate you guys for taking your own special time out of your busy day. So I thank you for tuning in, and I don't know what to say. All right, last question again. Remember, at Aquin Financial Services, we protect your most valuable asset. Thanks for coming in. Bye.
Bye.